Hello and welcome to our Committee for Auditor Ethics Highlights video. My name is Liesl de Prier and I'm a professional manager within the Standards Department at IRBA and I support the CFAE committee. Today I am joined by Tatenda Zamandi. Tatenda is a director with Grant Thornton Global. She's the chairperson of the CFAE's Engagement Team and Group Audits Task Group, and she's also a member of our sister standard setting committee, the Committee for Auditing Standards. Hello Tatenda, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Liesl, and I'm happy to be here.
Today, Tatenda and I want to briefly introduce you to the CFAE committee and tell you a little bit more about what it is that the committee does, with a focus on the committee's 4 main activities. The Committee for Auditor Ethics is a statutory IRBA committee. The committee assists the board to regulate the conduct of registered auditors through overseeing the IRBA Code of Professional Conduct, to interact with other professional bodies on ethics-related matters, such as the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants and SICA, and also to provide advice or guidance to registered auditors on the matters of professional ethics and conduct. The key outcome of the CFAE meeting on 4 May 2023 was the approval of the recommendation to the IRBA Board to adopt the IESBA Final Pronouncement amendments to the definition of engagement team and group audits. These amendments holistically address the various independence requirements in an audit of group financial statements. In addition, it also addresses the implications for auditor independence that were the consequence of changes made to the definition of engagement team in the IAAB's ISIS and ISQMs through better alignment of these same terms in the IRBA Code of Conduct. Tatenda, will you please walk us through some of the key highlights of these amendments?
Sure, Liesl, and these amendments really first and foremost will introduce a new group audit section in the code, section 405. And within section 400, you will see changes to the definition of the engagement team. At the end of the day, the IESBA was seeking to strengthen and clarify independence principles that apply to individuals involved and firms engaged in a group audit. So when you're looking at individuals involved in a group audit, these include those within or engaged by firms that audit components within a group audit. For firms that are engaged in the group audit, this also includes firms within and outside the group auditors network. So section 405 really seeks to clarify who they should be independent of, that is, which entities within the group, and it also specifies the requirement to ensure notification is given in situations that might create a threat to independence in the context of the group audit. For example, financial interests, loans and guarantees, business relationships, and so on. The new provision also includes the need to apply relevant sections of the code as is applicable in these situations. I think we all agree that communication on independence matters is absolutely vital. So the new provisions specify the need to ensure appropriate communication of independence matters between the group auditor firm and the component auditor firm participating in the group audit. It was really also good to see a more explicit process that sets out to address an independence breach at a component auditor firm. And this includes actions that can be taken in these situations, including the need to ensure timely communication to appropriate stakeholders. You will also see amendments to the definition of engagement team and the audit team in the code to recognize the different and evolving engagement team structures. The IESBA went further to provide guidance to facilitate the determination of who is included in an engagement team or an audit team. You will really also see definitions to existing terms within the code, as well as the establishment of new defined terms in respect to independence in a group audit complex. And like Liesl mentioned, to ensure alignment with ISO 600 revised. Thanks, Liesl.
Thank you, Tatenda. That is a mouthful, but I'm sure that registered auditors will welcome the additional clarity. So now that we have a better understanding of all the technical changes, what are the potential practical implications for registered auditors?
I guess first and foremost is to stand back and assess to what extent the firms will need to update their policies and procedures. So in this instance, we have a really clarified definition of what an engagement team is, who is included in an engagement team in the context of the audit, including those who directly influence the outcome of the audit. So it's a situation where we all have to stand back and ensure that independence requirements apply to all these individuals. And if it's a group audit situation, that engagement team might actually be broader. Communication requirements of independent matters and or breaches is something that is being clarified in these new provisions. And as firms, we want to be thinking about specifying timelines and formats in which that communication will happen. Number two, probably important to consider training and communication of these new requirements within the firm itself and across the network. Number three, assessments of independence monitoring system. So in my mind here, it's almost looking back at the systems that we currently have that are monitoring independence to determine whether they have the capacity to comply with these new additional requirements, whether to determine whether we need to be more effective in ensuring monitoring of individuals in a group audit situation to avoid contravention of certain independence provisions. And finally, an assessment of non-assurance services. These amendments will include a requirement to comply with Section 600. So it's important for firms to consider whether they need to relook some of the non-assurance services that they're providing, specifically related to public interest entities with respect to the provision of non-assurance services to the component audit clients. Thanks, Liesl.
Thank you for those insights, Satenda. As we approach the conclusion of this video, let me take a few minutes to highlight what we can expect next from the CFAE. So the date of the next meeting has been diarised for 2 August 2023, and it's expected to be an in-person meeting in the IRBA offices. Key items on the agenda will include consideration and approval of the recommendation to the IRBA Board to adopt the definition of listed entity and public interest entity amendments to the IRBA Code, as well as technology-related amendments to the IRBA Code. The members will also be provided with the IRBA's comments in response to the IESBA's Tax Planning and Related Services ED4 noting. Members of the public are invited to observe CFAE meetings through downloading and submitting the public observer form and following the submissions process as indicated on the IRBA website. We have now reached the end of the May 2023 CFAE meeting highlights video. We look forward to presenting you with the next video in the series in August to provide you with relevant updates to ethics requirements as they happen. Thank you, Tatenda, for your contribution today, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, Liesl, and thank you, everyone.